Hello, namaste everyone. It's Good Friday. We've got a yin yoga practice for you. The yoga practice that was meant to be on Good Friday at home in Exmouth, but things have changed and here I am in Perth at a beautiful community space that I've hired so that I could in some way give you something back. After no doubt you've all been through a very traumatic time. Your body and your mind and everything's just been running on adrenaline for the last week or so, and now you're probably noticing that after being in that fight and flight type response, you're probably feeling a whole different type of exhaustion now. Not just that, oh my gosh, I'm so tired from everything I've been doing, but your whole body, your nervous system has gone from right up here in fight and flight to just coming down. So now it's time to try and find that back to balance again way of being, which can take time. So let's start now. I've got a yoga mat, a bolster, I've got a few blocks. Just grab some cushions if you don't have blocks. You don't even need a yoga mat. But I do like to start sitting up tall so that your knees are lower than the hips. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. This is your time now. And then once you have gathered your props, anything you might need for the next hour, take a seat. If sitting's not comfortable, just come to a lying down position. And if you are seated, please sit up tall so the spine is lengthening, crown of the head to the sky. Just soften into your shoulders, just allow them to drop. And as you drop the shoulders, just allow the chest just to lift just a touch. That'll help you lengthen the spine. Then the chin comes a little bit towards the chest. Eyes softly closed. Lips together. And just taking a few moments now to notice your breath. Soften into your elbows, into the hands. And as you notice the breath, maybe it's the first time for today or for many days that you've actually noticed your breathing. Notice where you feel your breath. Is it up around the chest or is it lower towards the belly? And now without force, begin to lengthen your next breath in and match the exhale. Lengthen the breath out. And carry on. A soft, full breath in. And breath out, same length of time. And carry on in this way. So as you breathe in, it might feel like your spine grows that little bit taller. And on the breath out, begin to draw your lower belly back towards the spine. And carry on, breath in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, repeat. And belly draws in on the exhale. Keep breathing in this way. Spine lengthening inhales. And the grounding exhale as you draw the lower belly in. Few more breaths. Over the next few rounds, on your breath out, give yourself permission to let go of anything that's going on in your mind. Let go of any concerns. The breath in is refreshing, healing, nurturing. The breath out, just letting go of concerns, any to-do lists, any roles you've been playing over the last week or so. And 3 more rounds. And over this session, when emotions bubble to the surface, which they no doubt will, allow them to come, and then they'll just move through your body. Then just allow them to pass and dissolve, remembering that emotion is just energy in motion. Now, after your next exhale, just return to your effortless breath. Softly blink open the eyes, and we'll come to our first shape. So the first shape is going to be a supported fish pose. I usually use 2 blocks, but even I'm going to use a bolster today. So if you have a bolster, just have that behind you, or it could even be a couple of pillows rolled up in a towel, something firm though, and something behind the head. I'll use my other block. Luckily you can't see the state of these blocks. They've been rolling around in the bus for the last few months. So once you have your props, we're going to lay back on the bolster, and the block is going to be like a pillow. Just make sure that you feel safe with it where it's placed. And now just take the arms out to the sides. You can either have the legs extended, or you can bring the soles of the feet together. Then once you find your position, make any final adjustments. Then as you settle in, check in that the body feels safe, so that it'll signal to the mind that the body's safe. I can begin to let go. Take a scan over your body. I can feel within myself that I'm holding tension in my hands. So just allow the fingers to curl up. If your legs are extended, the feet to fall open. The eyes are softly closed. And before we settle in for another few minutes, check now, is there anything else you need to do to make yourself feel more comfortable or to benefit more from this pose? For myself, I'm going to lower the block and see how that feels, knowing that I can always come back up to the other version if need be. And now we're going to stay in this shape for another few minutes. There'll be a lot of space or gaps between my voice. So make the most of the opportunity of the quiet. And when the mind becomes busy, just guide it back to your breath. In this particular position of the whole front of the body being open, you might notice emotion bubbling up here, up around the heart space. And whether it's tears that flow, or you might be surprised. Opening up in this way can sometimes give you just this random feeling of wanting to laugh. Whatever bubbles to the surface, just allow it to arise. Move through your body and dissolve. And it's bringing awareness back to your breath. Let's begin to bend into the knees, bringing the heels closer towards the bottom. Shift a little bit over to a side so you can move the props. And as you move the props out the way, bring your spine back down onto the mat. Step the feet apart a little bit and just let the knees fall in towards each other. Place the hands on the belly. Awareness on breath. A few moments here to pause between our next position. And this will be an option as a resting or a pausing pose throughout this sequence. If you're ready to make your way into the next shape, take your bolster again, and we'll place the bolster under the lower back into this supported bridge position. You can step the feet a little bit closer together so they're about hip width apart. Arms can be wherever you like. You might even like to bring them up above the head. So this is the first variation. The next one is just walking the feet a little bit away from the bolster, or maybe all the way, extending your legs and just letting the feet fold out to the sides. Again, you want to make sure that the body feels safe so it can signal to the mind, to the nervous system as well, that you can soften and let go. Allow the fingers to curl up. Belly soft. Let the jaw drop. Eyes softly closed. And just watching the belly rise and fall with your breath. And this is where we'll stay for a few more minutes. And I'll guide you out of the pose. This particular shape is a great shape for resetting the lower back. I'm sure your bodies have been through quite a lot in the way of tidying and cleaning and lifting over this last week as well. So a reset for the lower back, a stretch through the front of the hips. If your legs are straight, begin to rebend them again. Feet planted back down on the ground. And take your arms back towards the bolster. Lift the hips, move the bolster out the way, and then the spine will come back down again. Step the feet apart, and we're back in that resting pose. Knees falling towards each other. You can bring your hands to your belly, breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. A few moments to pause. And walk the feet closer together, hip width apart now, hands down by the outside of the hips. We'll move through the bridge flow just 3 times. So palms down by the outside of the hips. On a breath in, lift the hips and the arms come up behind you. On the breath out, lay the spine back down, hands arrive back by the hips. Breath in, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips. Arms up behind. Breath out, come back down slowly, mindfully. Again, breath in and breath out. You can bring the knees or the legs up towards the body, bent legs up towards the body. Place the hands on the front of the knees, but then press the knees into the hands. So you notice the lower back pressing down into the ground, arms along. And now you can bring the legs towards the body. Either just wrap your arms around the legs or make some circles. Just do what feels good at the moment. No right or wrong. Just do what feels good for you in this moment. If you're doing circles, just do an even amount to each side. You might like to wrap the arms back around the legs, lifting the upper body off the mat, curling in. And as you release, just roll over to a side and come up to a seat just for a moment. And we'll come into our next position. So find your block or your cushion, and we'll take the right leg out to the side and the left heel in towards the groin, in towards the pubic bone. Take your block or your cushion, just so you've got something that you can rest on in a moment, or you could also place your elbow on the leg. Left hand can go on the left knee for now, and bring your elbow to either the block, the cushion, or your right leg. Left hand's just resting on the left leg, and allow yourself just to find a comfortable position here. If this left knee doesn't want to bend, you can straighten it out so it's like the right leg. And now our next option from here is keep the chest spiraling up rather than collapsing down. And you might like to take the left hand up and over. What I do is I just take it behind the head so I can encourage the chest to spiral up rather than collapsing down. This is just an option, bringing the hand off the leg. You might feel better just having it just gently pressing down on the left leg. And take the next few moments just to check in. Does the body feel safe? Are you able to stay in this shape for another few minutes? And if not, come out of the position slowly and find another pose or position you can rest in for the next minute or so, which could be child pose or shavasana. And over the next few moments, scan over the body again and notice if there is anywhere that you're holding on, that unnecessary holding on. Scan those places that aren't so obvious. The face muscles, they don't need to be holding on at the moment. Check your feet. If you do feel like you need to engage the right leg a little bit for safety, all good. But if the right leg is soft, just make sure that the toes are relaxed as well. A few more moments here. And notice that you're releasing through the side of the neck on the left side. So check that that left shoulder's not coming up towards the left ear. Just allow it to drop. And now very slowly begin to lift back up. Turn the body around so it's now coming over this right leg, and this might be as far as you come today. We won't be staying for too long, just a minute or so. Or if you're able to come further forward, do that. You can tuck the chin in. Maybe rest your forehead on a prop. So chest coming over the right leg. What I like to do is I take, in this case, my left hand to the outside of the right foot. I soften into my right elbow and guide myself forward this way, releasing through the lower back on the left side. And then there's a slow release, walking your hands back towards you. Going to bend the right leg and come into a deer pose where the right shin is parallel with the front of the mat and the left is parallel with the side here. And you even open up your legs a little bit more, like this. And then you can grab your bolster or a prop to rest over. So we're not coming into the deer twist, we're coming into what is more like a hip opening shape similar to pigeon. If you prefer pigeon and you know what pigeon pose is, you can come into that. Otherwise, just explore coming into deer today. So I'll time us for the next 3 minutes in this shape. So today I need to stay up a little bit higher to start, and probably over the next minute or so I'll come further into the pose. So always just tune in to your body each time you come to the mat, how it's feeling today, not last time you were doing this same pose. You might feel more open today or not. So no forcing, no efforting. And if you notice that you can sort of move more deeply into the shape after a little while, adjust and then settle into stillness. I'm purposely or intentionally not speaking too much in this practice today. So there's not so much guidance or words of wisdom, just this opportunity to be still and quiet, with the breath low and slow in the belly. And our awareness comes back to your breath. And begin to lift yourself back up. You can move the bolster out to the side and take both legs forward. If they need a little bit of a rub or a wriggle, do that. And now we'll take our right ankle over the left. Just make sure the sitting bones are down on the ground. The arms come out in front and begin to fall forward. So this might be your falling forward, or maybe the head comes to the knee, and there's always that option of using props. If this particular position of ankle over ankle doesn't serve you well, you could bring the right foot onto the inside of the left leg and come back into what was similar to our butterfly, half butterfly shape, but with the leg out in front rather than out to the side. So find the shape that meets your needs today. Chin tucks in, eyes softly closed. Breath is low and slow in the belly. Nothing you need to be doing. Nowhere you need to be. Allowing the body to soften, the mind to quieten. And awareness comes back to your breath. Begin to walk the hands back towards yourself. Keep the chin tucked in. And as you lengthen up through the spine, bringing the chin away from the throat, eyes blink open. Turning your hands the other way, bending into the knees. Just drop the legs from side to side. Slowly. A little bit of movement in the hips. And one more to each side. And then we'll set up for the same shapes on the left side. So once you've finished, I like to be on the long part of the mat so that my heel's down on the mat rather than the hard ground. So setting up here, and if this knee doesn't bend, just bring it out straight like the other one. Grab your prop. I've got a bolster close this time, so I'm just going to bring that over. So if you feel a little bit nervous about this stretch in the leg, keep the foot engaged for now. It doesn't have to be all the way out there as well. It might be in a bit closer. So I am feeling a bit nervous about this leg. It's a bit sore. So I'm keeping the foot engaged, the leg's actually working. Right hand's pressing down on the knee, and I'm coming over to the left and checking in how the body's feeling. So I'm going to relax into my foot now. Everything feels okay. I feel supported and safe. And then you decide what you're doing with this right hand. You either keep it on the leg or just bring it up and over. Just make sure the chest doesn't begin to collapse downwards. We want this stretch and release through the right side of the body and the neck. So do what you need to do with this right arm. You might just explore a few different ideas. Then the important part is to settle into stillness, breath, low and slow in the belly. Let go of any thoughts of, am I doing this pose right? And instead of thinking along those lines, just check in that you are experiencing a stretch and release through the right side body. As long as that target area's involved, open, getting a release, you're doing the pose perfectly. And just be effortless. Bringing ease into the body, into the mind. Just a few more breaths here. We want to release very slowly. So as you begin to lift up, you can blink open the eyes, and we shift so that now the chest is going to come over the leg or in that direction. Again, you don't have to think, am I doing it perfectly? Am I all lined up? You just want to make sure that you're stable in the pelvis so that you can begin to move around. Perhaps noticing now a stretch in the lower back on the right side, and only come forward if that's appropriate for your body today. Tune into the breath. If it's become a little bit short and shallow like mine just did, either back out of the pose or stay in it, but smooth the breath out. Guide it back down to the belly. Low and slow belly breaths. Be effortless. And there was that other option as well of taking the right hand to the outside of the left foot in this case. It just deepens the release on the right side, lower back. I am engaging my muscles a touch here in the left leg. Remember to always direct your breath to any place of your body that needs it that little bit more. Think of your breath as a healing tool. Direct it to those places that need some nurturance, some healing, some space. A few more moments here. And please keep the chin tucked in as you begin to lift back up. Eyes blink open. And we come to the deer shape on the other side. So this time it's left shin parallel with the front of the mat, right shin parallel with the side. And you could always separate the knee from the heel a little bit more if you like, or come into pigeon pose. So as always with these hip opening shapes for me, I start off in a much higher position. And then over time, I'll come down. So you make sure you do the same thing. And being that we'll be in this shape for longer than just a few breaths, please don't come into the full expression of the pose in yin. Back off to about 60%. Tune into your breath. Low, slow in the belly. Soften the jaw. Just bring awareness back to your breathing. Making that slow transition as you lift yourself up. We'll stretch out both legs. So I'm facing the other way now. If you feel better coming back to the front of your mat, you do you. If you need a bit of a rub or a wriggle with the legs, do that. Oh, that's loud. And we come into, can't remember what they called it in a class I went to, twisted caterpillar or half caterpillar, something like that. left ankle over the right and falling forward. And it doesn't matter how far forward you come. What does matter is that you feel safe, that you're not overstretching and noticing any uncomfortable sensation. Soften into the shoulders. Keep a little bit of space between the top teeth and the bottom teeth so the jaw can drop. And here we stay for another few minutes of quiet, stillness, effortlessness. Just a few more breaths here, but I did want to point out that as I do suffer with sciatica, that I find this stretch great for sciatica. My discomfort is in my left side, so this stretch here just seems to target the area that I need to release. Sometimes a forward fold's not so great for sciatica, but this particular one for my body works really well, particularly after coming out of the deer pose. So when you're ready, just begin to walk the hands back towards you. Head comes up last, eyes blink open. Separate the feet, turn the hands the other way, bend into the knees. And let's do some windshield wipers slowly, slower the better. And one more to each side. And when you finish the windshield wipers, I'm going to face the camera, but you could always stay facing the other end of the mat. We'll come into a butterfly type shape for a few breaths rather than a few minutes. So you can either take the feet together so their heels are a bit closer to the pubic bone, or further away for a more diamond type shape, or you can join me in a wide leg position. Excuse me, I think my left hip's going to make a little popping sound in a moment, which always happens when I come into this pose. So whatever shape you're in, again, it's just a matter of falling forward. So if you are in this position, just make sure that you do flex the feet for a few moments as you begin to walk forward. Then if you're feeling quite open today and you come down further, once you feel as safe and supported, you can relax into the feet. And if you're in the other variations with the soles of the feet together, just fold in. You can grab your props if you'd like to rest over anything and allow the props to fill in the space. So rather than get the prop and then pop yourself over it, have the prop close by, find the shape you're going to be in and then use the prop to fill the space. And let's settle in for another few breaths. When we target the inner legs, we're working with the kidney energy and the liver. But in this case, with the kidney energy, it's great to give the kidney energy a boost after times of stress. So now we're going to lift back up and please come down onto your belly. I'm going to face this way so you can see what I'm going to do with my right leg. You can have a prop handy, but you may not need it. So to begin with, we're coming into Sphinx pose. So shoulders over the elbows, just to give yourself a little bit of rocking back forwards, sideways here, just to settle the lower back and the hips. And now just become still for a few moments. And we'll take our right leg into a half frog shape. And the right arm comes forward, left arm comes through, bring the side of the face down onto the ground. And now from here, we're coming into a twist. So the right arm will come behind. You'll probably find that the right leg begins to shift and you find yourself in your twist. So if you'd like something under the right knee, you can grab your bolster or a block. Maybe you place your right hand onto the right leg. The chin could come over to the right shoulder. The option that I'm going to come into is extending my right leg, and I'm just going to bring my left hand under the foot. So the right shoulder comes back down onto the ground. You can have the right arm as you wish. It's either out in like a T shape, palm up or down, or it can be bent to the elbows in the cactus type position. And find stillness. And we'll stay for another 2 minutes. And please just bring awareness back to your breath. Let's turn the head so it's facing back up. And we're simply, well hopefully it's simply, going to come back onto our bellies into that Sphinx position. If you need to do a little bit of movement from side to side, do what you need to do. Then guide your heart forward. We'll just stay for a few moments. And we'll create our half frog on the other side. So bending into your left leg. Left arm comes forward, right arm through, right side of the head down, and then you guide the left arm over, out to the side like your T shape, bringing the shoulder down. So if you need to bend a little bit more into your left leg, or do what you need to do with the left leg to bring the left shoulder down. And if you're extending the left leg, you can place your right foot under it. And I like to take my chin over to the opposite shoulder. Just allow those left fingers to curl up. Scanning over the body. Is there anywhere you can soften? I feel completely different on this side of the body. The release for me is actually in my left arm. That feels very tight today for I don't know what reason. So just make sure that whenever you're in any of the poses, if you're feeling a lot of sensation, that your breath isn't beginning to become short and shallow. If it does, you just need to back out a little bit, or just guide your breath back down towards the belly. Effortless, slow, low belly breaths. And let's bring awareness back to your breath. If your chin's over near the left shoulder, bring it back to center. And take your time coming back to that Sphinx position. If you need a little bit of movement in the lower part of the body, just move the hips from side to side. And then please come onto your back. You can stay at whatever end of the mat you're at. Have your bolster handy. Knees are bent. step the feet apart and just let the knees fall in towards each other like we did before. Maybe hands on the belly, breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we'll prepare for our final shape before Shavasana. So separate the feet, knees come away from each other. Place the bolster under your hips, legs up the wall. Pretend wall. Unless you've got a wall, you're welcome to bring your legs up the wall. We'll just be here for about a minute. Fingers relaxed. Now from where you are, just bend into the knees. You could bring the legs closer to the body if that feels okay. And preparing for Shavasana. So I'm simply going to just bring my feet back down to the ground, push the bolster down so it arrives under my knees. I let the feet fall out to the sides, arms away from the body. Chin slightly tucked in. Making any final adjustments. And settling into stillness. Belly softens. Jaw drops. Fingers curl up towards the palms. And you notice now that the only parts of your body that are moving are the parts that move with your breath. Belly rises, belly falls. And on the breath out, the body softens. Muscles release. Any leftover tension dissolves. Completely effortless. If you're able to rest for longer, please just stay as you are. Awareness comes back to your breath. Let's begin to lengthen the next breath in, directing the breath up towards the chest. And allow the exhale to just fall away. Breathing in through the nose and maybe out through the mouth. A few more rounds. That inspiring, energizing, nurturing, healing breath in. And the exhale just falls away. And you can return to your normal breath. Welcoming in some movement, some gentle movement of your fingers and your toes. If you feel the need for a stretch, a morning stretch, stretch out through the legs, through the feet, lift the arms up above the head. And taking your time to bend into the knees, roll over to a side and just resting on the side of the body for the next few moments. And then you can make your way back up to a seat, just as before, sitting up on a prop. Spine lengthens, shoulders drop, top of the head to the sky, chin slightly tucked in, breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, let the shoulders drop, belly soften, and again, breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And return to your normal breath. Awareness on breath. You can either keep your hands where they are or bring them to meet in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And this is your moment, your time to welcome in some words of your own, to seal your practice. And before you take your moment to bow forward, please bring in a deep sense of gratitude for all of your blessings, all the wonderful people in your life, the beautiful community that we all live in. And taking your moment now to bow forward with this heartfelt gratitude. And rising on up whenever you're ready and blinking open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me with this practice today. I'm so looking forward to being home with you all and back on the mat with you all soon. I've got so much more I could say right now, but I'm not going to. I'll let you just be and move back into your day and hold myself back from saying too much more. But I'm just noticing with myself, I just want to mention this part, that I would have come back to Exmouth about a month ago, but Josh and I have been waiting in Perth to go to a surfing competition which was meant to be in Geraldton. Now that was cancelled due to the cyclone. So we're in Perth and I thought, oh, maybe we'll just head back home before Narelle arrives. Then my dad went into hospital and there was a complication there. So it's all worked out weird and wonderful how I've been there for my dad over this last week or so. Now with roads blocked, I'm here a bit longer and I was like, oh my gosh. But now I've decided to be less about emergency to get home and making the most of this opportunity to hire this space and bring some yogurt to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste, and see you again soon here at this space.